text, audio, and video news of the globe from Scientific Television. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe with us. Thank you.
Now listen to the headline news. Fall of Zelensky's top aide? Reboot for Kyiv? Or costly shakeup? Russian strikes cause power outages for more than 600,000 in Ukraine. 3 days of mourning begin after Hong Kong's deadliest fire in decades. Trump to pardon ex-Honduras president convicted of drug trafficking. Flights returning to normal after Airbus warning grounded planes. Why India's Test cricket reputation lies in ruins. Australian Prime Minister becomes first to wed in office. Nigeria blames jihadist groups for wave of kidnappings, but others accuse criminal gangs. At least 460 killed in Southeast Asia floods and landslides, reports say. Israel has de facto state policy of organized torture, says UN report. Now listen to the detailed news. Andriy Yermak, once one of the most influential figures in Ukraine and President Volodymyr Zelensky's powerful chief of staff, resigned abruptly after anti-corruption investigators raided his home in Kyiv. Known for his constant presence beside Zelensky, Yermak played a central role in major political decisions, foreign policy, and even wartime negotiations, including recent talks in Geneva with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. His resignation comes amid a widening corruption scandal that has implicated senior Ukrainian officials and destabilized the government during a crucial stage of the ongoing war with Russia. The anti-corruption agencies are investigating allegations of a $100 million embezzlement scheme in the energy sector. And although Yermak denies involvement and was not named as a suspect, suspicion grew about his possible awareness of the scheme. More than 600,000 people in the Kyiv region were left without power on Saturday morning after a large-scale overnight Russian missile and drone attack. Ukraine's energy ministry reported that over 500,000 of these outages occurred in the capital itself. Russia launched 36 missiles and nearly 600 drones, striking energy infrastructure, residential buildings, and cities across Ukraine, leaving 3 dead and dozens injured, including a 13-year-old child. Loud explosions rocked Kyiv, and emergency services battled fires in damaged apartment blocks. Despite the destruction, energy provider DTEK said power had been restored to over 360,000 homes. Hong Kong has begun a 3-day mourning period after the city's deadliest fire in nearly 80 years, observing a moment of silence led by Chief Executive John Lee. The massive blaze, which engulfed 7 tower blocks in the Wong Fuk Court housing complex on Wednesday, has claimed at least 128 lives, injured 83, and left 150 people unaccounted for. The fire took almost 2 days and more than 2,000 firefighters to contain. Memorial sites have been set up across the city for the public to pay respects, while authorities continue gathering evidence at the scene. U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that he will pardon former Honduran President Juan Orlando Hernandez, who was convicted in 2024 on drug trafficking and weapons charges and sentenced to 45 years in prison. Trump claimed Hernandez had been treated very harshly and unfairly. In the same statement, Trump also endorsed conservative candidate Nasri Tito Asfora in Honduras's upcoming general election, which is currently a close race among 3 candidates. Hernandez, who governed Honduras from 2014 to 2022, was extradited to the U.S. in 2022 and later convicted by a New York jury for running a major cocaine trafficking operation. Thousands of Airbus aircraft have returned to normal service after a temporary grounding caused by concerns that solar radiation could interfere with onboard computer systems. Approximately 6,000 Airbus A320 family planes required immediate software updates, while 900 older aircraft need full computer replacements. Most airlines completed the update quickly, though some, such as Air France and Australia's Jetstar, experienced delays and cancellations. Airports across the UK, Europe, Australia, and the US reported varying degrees of disruption, but many carriers, including EasyJet, Wizz Air, and Air New Zealand, resumed normal operations after updates were applied. India suffered a shocking 0-2 loss to South Africa in the recently concluded Test series, marking the team's heaviest defeat by runs at home and South Africa's first series win in India in 25 years. This follows another home whitewash by New Zealand in 2024, highlighting a troubling pattern for India in red ball cricket. Key players were exposed for technical and mental shortcomings, and the team's momentum from their strong performances in England and against the West Indies has vanished. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese married his partner Jodie Hayden on Saturday in Canberra, becoming the first sitting Australian leader to tie the knot while in office. The wedding took place the day after the final sitting of the parliamentary year and was attended by close family, friends, and several cabinet ministers. Albanese's son, Nathan, participated in the ceremony, and their dog, Toto, served as the ring bearer. Nigeria has experienced a wave of recent mass kidnappings in the northwest and central regions, including over 250 children abducted from St. Mary's Catholic School in Niger State. Other attacks included abductions at a girls' secondary school in Kebbi State and a church in Kwara State, with multiple fatalities and dozens of people taken hostage. The Nigerian government has attributed these kidnappings to jihadist groups Boko Haram and ISWAP, while analysts and monitoring groups such as ACLED suggest that local armed gangs, known as bandits or Fulani militia, were primarily responsible. Devastating floods and landslides in Southeast Asia have claimed over 460 lives as rescue and cleanup operations continue across Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia. In Indonesia, Sumatra Island was worst hit, with at least 303 dead and hundreds still missing, while more than 80,000 people were evacuated. Thailand saw more than 1.4 million households affected, with 162 fatalities reported across 8 provinces. And southern provinces, like Songkhla, experienced water levels reaching 3 meters. In Malaysia, flooding killed 2 people in Perlis State. A UN report has accused Israel of widespread torture and human rights violations against Palestinian detainees over the past 2 years, raising concerns about impunity for Israeli security forces. The report details repeated use of severe beatings, electrocution, waterboarding, sexual violence, and humiliation, including forcing detainees to act like animals or being urinated on. It also highlighted that children, including those under the age of 12, have been detained without charge, denied education, and subjected to solitary confinement. The report documents 75 Palestinian deaths in custody during the Gaza war, while noting that no officials have been held accountable.